Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to do a little bit of an eBay sniping video to try to find some bargains on UFC cards and to see if we can get some good deals. So again, the way I like to approach this is to try to look for auctions ending relatively soon. Also to try to look for big names, cards that look cool, hopefully with autographs, relics, and then also looking for older, more vintage cards as well. So without further ado, let's get the hunt started. So we start in our search bar by typing UFC. We do auction. We sort by ending soonest. And for the category, I like to do all categories. So we'll get everything UFC, including memorabilia, autographs, sealed. I want to see everything out there. And then we'll also, yeah, this should be fine. So let's get started. Try to go slow. Again, I'm trying to look for big names. Actually, I'm going to fix the search on this. So I want to get rid of the word break because I don't want to include any box breaks. Like you see on the second listing here is a box break for a product. So to do that, you do minus and then you type in the word and it removes it from the search. So it'll clean it out and make the filter a little bit more effective. So when we search, there we go. You see that disappeared. Hopefully the other ones did. So let's look and see if we could find anything interesting. Some of the auctions previously that I've won, I've done pretty good on and added into my collection. At some point, I'll do a summary of my eBay wins and kind of do a recap. But let's look at this one here. Pull that in a separate tab. 2005 Topps Finest UFC Daniel Cormier auto out of 75. On-card auto 61/75. Interesting. Let's see what these go for. So we take the listing, we copy it, we paste it into Card Ladder, which is a useful tool to look up card pricing. One recently sold at auction for 26 bucks. What is this one at? This one's at 20. Let's see if there's anything currently listed on eBay. So we see some of the base ones here. Let me get rid of the 75 and see what else pops up just to get a better view. So the out of 50 is 100 or best offer for the gold, base. So if the last one did $26, this one's at 20. I don't know, I think if I'm gonna pick a Cormier autograph from UFC Finest from a modern product, I'd prefer the number to be lower, closer to 50. I don't think I'm interested in this. So let's close this and let's keep looking. Again, I don't have a totally set system of how I look at this. It goes off feel. I'd like to try to buy cards that are at least, $20 or higher. I'm not trying to buy $1 or $2 cards. I just think once you add in shipping and the time it takes to do that, I'm not sure for what I'm trying to accomplish here, which is try to build out a interesting UFC collection, try to curate something that I can look at and be proud of and have, something that resonates with me and hopefully maybe down the road resonates with a future collector as well. So we have Topps Chrome UFC RDR out of 150. Serial number is too high for my liking on that card. We're going to pass. Let's see, UFC Joshua Van Champions Collection Gold On-Card Rookie Auto Future Champ. Let's check this card out. Champions Collection. This looks like a custom card maybe. I'm not too familiar with Champions Collection. I'm trying to look on the back here. Champions Collection. This looks like a custom product, which I'm not interested in. Cool card. And if you're a Joshua Van fan and you're trying to get his autograph, probably could be worse. I'm trying to see the description here. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Again, not interesting enough for me. Let's keep it moving so far. Oh, here we go. Okay, 2023 Dominic Reyes Black Prism 1 of 1. Let's check that out. BGS 9. 9 with 9.5, so it's a strong 9. Good looking card. Let's see if this ever sold before. So 2023 Panini Prism UFC Reyes. I'm gonna look up all the 1 of 1s for this. 1 of 1, if they sold previously. Is that it? That is it. So this card previously sold more than 2 years ago for 150 bucks. Sorry, for 185 bucks. Got to read that properly. And the person got it graded, and now it's a 293, so a little bit of a come up. Not a bad way to do it. Beckett grading is pretty cheap. How do you value of 1 of 1? Let's see what his cards go for in the Prism and in the low number. So let's see. Panini Prism out of 25 did 750. The out of 20 Prism for the Smarkle did 20 bucks. Okay, so this is a good gauge. So the Prism out of 10 only did 21 bucks, and that was August 7th. There's no set rule for the multiplier from a gold prism from a 10 to a 1. I mean, I've seen the multiplier anywhere from 10 to 20 times the amount, being out of 10 and then going to the black prism. Let's look up Dominic Reyes as a fighter. See what his deal is. Oh, that's right. So he recently lost to Olberg. First round. So his stock's probably down a little bit. I'll be honest, Dominic Reyes is a big name in UFC, but he's not in the elite tier of top fighters, in my opinion. Let's see his following on Instagram. Dominic Reyes, Instagram. So 350,000 followers, pretty solid for a UFC fighter, but definitely not anywhere near, an Islam, a Conor, or like the top. He's probably not even a top 10 overall. Not that that matters, but just another thing to look at. If I was a huge Dominic Reyes fan, I'd probably chase this, but I'm going to pass at the moment. So let's see what else is out there. Another Joshua Van custom card, I'm assuming. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me in the comments, but it certainly looked like it. I didn't see any licensing or anything on it. We're gonna keep going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort out this filter a little bit better. So eBay has a search when you do auctions. You can do ending soonest or ending soonest with bids. So let me focus on the ones that have bids to kind of clean this up and make it a little more efficient. So we went from, let me just show you that just so you can understand why I did that. So ending soonest, you're at 14,000 with the current filter. And then you do ending soonest with bids. Now we're at 2,200. So you want the bid because at least get some action. You have some individuals on eBay, which I don't blame them. They started at a high amount to try to get a fish to bid high. I prefer something that at least have a bid, so at least you know that somebody else feels there's value there. It just makes it a little more efficient to search it. So let's kind of keep going back through this. See some signed gloves. Mike Davis out of 10 for UFC Finest. Again, the gloves, probably filter that. So this is interesting. Let's check this out. This is a UFC card binder. Wow, that's a lot of cards. You have the Umar. Trying to see, these pictures are terrible. Rodriguez, Lopez, big names. Cormier, relics, autos. So let's see what the description says. Looking to make room, extra cash, has some signed UFC trunks and gloves, various names. So there's nothing in there that says how many cards. So if we look through the photos, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. There's an Aspinall. That's a big name. Trying to see who else is here. Sonnen. Costa. 45, 54, 63. No, sorry, I think I did the math wrong now. Let's count how many pictures there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's a Connor. 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24 photos. Not all of them were filled in. So 24 times 9, call it 220 cards. Give or take. Some of them are empty. Even if you say 200 to be conservative, right now it's less than $5 a card. Is it worth it to put in a bid at $5 a card? I mean, that Umar right there is probably worth 30. I mean, I'd have to look these up, but I don't know. Bruce Buffer's got to be worth a little something. I don't know. $5 a card. I mean, I think this would be a steal. Aspinall's got to be worth at least 40 or 50. Holly McCann. He had the Patty. The Pena. Khabib. I'm going to take a shot. So let's say there's 200 cards. It's a 916. I'm going to put in a bid. Let's see what else the seller has. So he has the UFC, he has some other stuff, another binder. So this is a cheaper binder, obviously. Let's see this other binder. A lot of base cards. How many pictures? Wow, it looks like all 24 pictures again. Huh. This might be worth putting a bid on too. You know, all these cards you can use for giveaways, or to use it to do a giveaway on my Twitter account maybe, or here on YouTube. Okay, so let's do this. So $5 a card at 200, I'm going to bid $1,023 for the auto lot. So that's in. And for this one, I mean, you're talking pennies on the dollar here. There's 200 cards. I mean, even at 50 cents a card at $100. I mean, this has got to be, there's got to be decent value here, unless I'm totally misreading this. I mean, it's all big names. It's all names I've heard of. I mean, I certainly don't know every UFC fighter on planet Earth, but every name I'm seeing, I see. I mean, I know John Jones, Nunes. I mean, there's a lot of base cards from various products, but I don't know. I'm putting in a snipe. What do you got to lose? I'm taking a shot at $60.23. I doubt I'll win, but you never know. Oh, whoops, I had to do that the other way. Sorry. We're going to do 60.23 because it's $10 shipping. If I win both, they'll combine. So there we go. We'll take a shot at getting some binders and interesting stuff. Probably not going to win it, but I almost want to up the bid on these autographs. I'm doing it. We're going to edit the bid. I'm going to go to 1,123. No risk and no reward. Cool. Let's keep going. Lydell, Blinding Lights. Jan Yaunin. Not really interested in that. What else do we got? There's the binder that would have popped up a little bit because it was ending a little bit later. 2017 Knockout, Relic, Nate Diaz. Wish that was an auto. I love the older cards. Tabitha Ritchie, Parallel out of 50. I prefer the number to be lower for the modern stuff. Looks like an unnumbered Relic for Mackenzie Dern. these wild cards I hate. Everything's a 101, trash product. I mean, if you're just trying to get the autograph or whatever, but I prefer to collect licensed stuff. It's just more enjoyable. And also, like if you're collecting or investing or combining the two, whatever you're trying to do, like you want to try to get value for money. And long term, I just feel the wild card stuff is not going to hold up. You got to give yourself at least a fighting chance to at least get licensed cards. I'm not saying that, you know, it's the only way to be successful in this area, but it's something I feel comfortable with, and I can only go with what I know. So we're going to go here. We're going to keep going. Here we go. Sean O'Malley Vapor UFC Finest out of 10 for $207.50. Let's take a look at this card. Sean, can we get a little bit more effort in this autograph? I mean, let's give us something, dude. Cool card. I don't know if it's worth 200 bucks. Kind of uninteresting a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't do anything for me. Keep going. Ooh, the Oliveira Shimmer Auto. Is that numbered from 2024 Finest? Let's see. He has a gorgeous autograph, like one of the best UFC autos. So it's not, the red shimmer is a sick card. I like action poses better, but still worthy of a collection. Just nothing I'm interested in at the moment. Let's keep going. Oh, that's a sick looking card. So these are the type of cards I like. Again, not an action shot, but you have the nice pose, you have the autograph and the relic, cool background, visually appealing card. I know people have been talking down on Topps Knockout recently, and for good reason. I mean, it's one of those products where either you get an amazing experience or you totally tank it. That's why box seal prices are coming down. I mean, I saw seal boxes going for as cheap as $170, $180, which I think long term, I mean, if you could pick that up, especially without tax and get your shipping included, I think those are steals. You buy them and you just sit on them. As time goes by, I think they'll go up in value and they'll appreciate. But right now they're just kind of in a little bit of a bear market with that, but it's to be expected. People have short memories, but I guarantee you as time goes by, they will miss the product. They won't experience it opening again. It's got to give it time to figure itself out. Ooh, here we go. 2021 Panini Prism, Jorge Masvidal. BGS 9, the 10 of 10, the bookend. Wow, that's a pretty sick looking card. What do these go for? Let's check this out. Any recent sales? So none of these are the card. Let me just refresh my memory. The image, so he's leaning in. So none of these are the card. Here we go. One sold for best offer of 500 bucks over 2 years ago, and a 9. Any other ones? Just to get an idea. Not for that one, and now we're going back to 2022, which at that point, for a card out of 10, like the comps are kind of useless. So that's the comp, 500. Let's see if there's one currently on eBay. Yeah, let me bring this back up again. Move this back over. Let's see, anything comparable? Nah, not a direct one. 305. So if PSA 9 went for 500, what would you value this at? It's a good question. What else is the seller? The seller sells all sports. Okay, thought maybe it was just UFC. Huh. Total legend, like a card like this, if it was me, if I was gonna bid on this, I probably would crack it out of the case and try to get them to sign it. A lot of people don't believe in this way of collecting. I'm a big believer in, if the card's not a 10, and assume this would cross to a PSA 8, I'm a big fan of getting these lower number serial number cards to differentiate from the rest of the group of the other gold prisms to get them to sign it. A lot of purists would disagree with that concept, and I totally understand it, especially if you're trying to build out the prism set. But I think as time goes by and the cost of autographs for everybody is just going through the roof, and the ability to have a rare card signed by a UFC legend, and I think Masvidal probably is a reasonable signature. I don't think he's charging $500 a signature. Let's call it $100. I don't know. I think it makes the card unique and stand out and makes it special as part of the collection. Am I going to bid on this? That is the question. I am not going to bid. Part of me wants to bid because I like Masvidal. He's a legend. I love the gold prism cards. I think prism has a special place in the hearts of true collectors, and the golds are just, across every sport, the golds are desirable, and it's a bookend 10 of 10, whatever you value that at. But even as I'm saying that I'm not going to bid, part of me wants to bid. You know what? We're gonna live a little. I'm gonna toss a bid out there, which I probably will not win. I'm gonna do 323.23. It's at 305. I think at that amount, I feel relatively, sorry, jumping around here, relatively safe. Take a shot. There we go. So let's keep it moving. A lot of low-end cards. We'll go to page 2 here. It's also a great way if you're trying to build out a set or trying to get a run of a certain insert, like looking like this and looking for especially consignments that people send their cards in and eBay is consigning. Definitely a good way to build out some sets and just, and you know why I like doing this too, is searching eBay, just learning about the cards, and you see some really cool stuff. Like even if you're not gonna buy it, just some really sick stuff. Yeah, that Masvidal, I just wanted to confirm it was in the US so I didn't have to pay tariffs or anything. So let's keep going. Royce Gracie, that's a sick looking card. What else do we got? Okay, now all this stuff is in China. All this stuff was in China. Not dealing with China right now with the tariffs. Oh, we got a UFC Finest hobby box. 157, a little bit above, or I think that was a little bit above what it initially retailed for, if I remember. Or right in the ballpark once you factor in shipping and everything. Pack breaker outlet. Let's see this one, just for curiosity. So they sell a bunch of boxes. Wow, they have a lot of Finest boxes, actually. Let's search, going down the rabbit hole here, let's search this seller and what UFC products they have. All Finest. I'm going to bookmark these for later. See if I could snipe some, maybe if I get them cheap. Okay, let's refocus here. We're all over the place. Okay, we have 2025 Knockout, Kareem Silva, Patch Relic Auto, Kareem Killer, 7 of 8. Horrible photo. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say this. I'm probably going to say it every video I look on eBay, but sellers, do yourself a favor. Get a reasonable setup, whether it's a light box, check out your lighting sources, like maximize the value of the card to get the most out of it. Leave the money on the table. On-card auto, it looks like, unless that's a clever sticker, which I don't think it is. You have the Fight War memorabilia. Cool card, only out of 8, low number. I'm gonna pass. See what else we got. Now this stuff is ending in 5 hours, so this will be like 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, which is what I'm on. Sometimes you can get a good deal placing snipes on this type of stuff. Nothing I'm really interested in. I think that's going to close out the video. Let's do a little bit more. We're in the middle of the page. We're going to keep going. That Champions Collection again. First ever on-card rookie auto. I need to research that product, see exactly what it is or who created it. Combat Anthology, my sleeper product of the year. $112.50 plus delivery plus tax, right at $140, $150. Good product. We're almost done with this page. Let's see, 2025 out of 50. Magomedov auto, $55. Not really interested in that. UFC hobby boxes. Wow, there's a bunch of them here. I'm liking that for later. These end in 17 hours just to pay attention and see what they go for. See where the market's at. Yeah, we're almost at the end of this page. Ooh, Max Holloway 2024 Chrome. Let's see what that is. Uninspiring card. Sticker. He looks bored. Card's kind of cool, but not a fan of it. See, this card looks cool to me. I love the white with the auto. At a 99, Liddell on card, immaculate, shadow box. Cool card. Nothing I'm interested in tonight. Another Liddell auto. Yeah, the Poirier out of chrome, not numbered. Okay, I think that's going to conclude it. So just to kind of recap what we actually did this evening. We placed 3 snipes, one for a lot of about 200 UFC cards, mix of relics and autographs, another for what would be base UFC cards. I valued it about less than 50 cents a card. So if I can win either of these, and this one I valued it about $5 a card with the autos and the relics, I thought was a good price. And the Masvidal, the last one sold for $500 a couple years ago. I doubt I'm going to win this. I doubt I'm going to win any of these. I'd be totally blown away if I did. But I think that's going to wrap up the video for this evening. If you learned anything or you took any information out of this video of how to hunt eBay auctions maybe a little bit better, or you got some value out of watching the video, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like or a comment or subscribe to the channel. It tremendously helps out the algorithm. And with all that being said, thank you so much for spending your time with me this evening, and have a great night.